Ooh. Welcome back to the NetherKast. I am Cyborg, and I am joined, as always, by Temp, Razor, and Shad. It's been a hot minute. It's been hot in general, but
A
a
little warm out.
little
Quite some
toasty.
time.
Yeah, it's been a minute since we've all gotten together for one of these. When was the last time? What did we talk about last? I think we. What did we do? The ranking of the stages.
Yeah, I think
Sound
we did
right?
some stage rankings. The time before that, we threatened to rank Marvel vs. Capcom games or talk about our wish list for MVC4, and that just never happened. And we just
Yeah, we
forgot
wanted
about
to do
that.
something with Marvel characters that didn't happen.
We
Yeah.
like to aim
The
high
last-
here. we really like to aim high on what we're willing to do.
As long as you promise more than you deliver, they'll never be like, well, I guess the channel's dead because they said, they didn't have anything lined up.
They said they were going to do a thing. They were going to put out a new album. They said they were recording it last year. I know they were in the studio.
What's really important is we never put a real timetable on any of this, so these can all be still delivered on.
Chinese democracy is still coming. Don't worry about
it. Well, we're going to be talking the Mortal Kombat 2 movie. We figured we ought to do that. I believe for the last movie, only Shad covered it, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
No one wanted to talk about it at all. Razor wouldn't have any part of it.
I've unpersoned the movie. It never happened.
It's best to look at it that way.
Doesn't exist. I actually want to say when the opening title comes up in this movie, it just says Mortal Kombat. It doesn't say 2 until the end credits.
This it does kind of feel like a bit of an apology for last time now, doesn't it, in a lot of ways?
They have corrected quite a few elements of the course.
I think. I mean,
the thing is, they never actively retcon out anything, but they just specifically never mention or show certain things that people fucking hated in the first one.
It's like Suicide Squad versus the Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
It's part of the story, probably to a greater extent than that one was. You're probably still obligated to watch it, unlike the first Suicide Squad, but you can kind of get along without it if you squint.
Well, you always could. That was one of the problems with that movie. Its plot was fucking irrelevant.
I think the biggest apology in the entire film is something we probably all saw coming, and this is getting to spoiler territory. So this is your fair warning if you thought we were going to talk about this movie and not spoil things. We're going to be spoiling things, but I think the biggest apology is something, as I was driving to watch the movie with my wife, I said, they're probably going to kill Cole Young in the most grandiose fashion, like in a very gruesome way, as like we're sorry. And sure enough, not only do we get to see his head smashed in, just obliterated by Shao Kahn, but then they sweep him into the fucking acid. Just casually cleaning up the mess.
Him like a janitor. Yeah.
So that
off, just so undignified.
So that I think that was very much a wink and a nod. Like, we know there was a lot of fan backlash about this character, so not only does he get his head just completely obliterated, but yeah, the sweeping motion into the Deadpool, into acid, so there's no remains to be resurrected or anything like that, was the ultimate. He's not coming back. He's not going to be in Rush Hour 4.
They make a point in this movie that to bring someone back, you kind of need some of them left, and there's none of him left.
I don't know. Maybe there's some residue of his soul. It'd be weird. We're getting ahead of ourselves, but I feel like it'd be weird to just erase it entirely. I feel like it's something best salvaged if possible, but we'll come to that. Maybe that's me being stupidly optimistic.
Well, what I want to say, I was surprised that they gave him as good of a showing in that fight as they did.
Yeah, no.
If not for MacGuffin bullshit that kept Khan alive, Cole technically would have won that fight.
Yeah. They made him look strong.
Then they kill him.
Yeah. In pro wrestling terms, they gave him the visual win, like the visual pin where somebody beats somebody, but the ref isn't there to count it. So even though they
Yeah,
technically won, they didn't win.
Yeah,
Like that was
yeah,
what
Khan had to
happened.
cheat to win.
He would have killed Khan, but so even if you are a Cole Young fan, I'm sure
I
there's some
think
of those that exist. You can't be mad that he looked like a jobber because they made him look good on his way out of the series forever.
But
They gave him some style points.
my feeling on it ends up being that I'm glad they had somebody around to eat a fatality, because I always hate the way that they kill characters off in these movies. But they found ways to do it in this one where it's like, oh, we have an art lean we can totally obliterate, and then we'll give the respectful deaths one or two here and there, tasteful ones to other characters.
And moreover, like they actually knew who to like give the axe to this time. That it wouldn't hurt future potential stories the way that they did last time. Like,
Yes, they looked at
where do you?
who has died in the games and which ones got stories out of it that actually mattered, and so they only killed characters that were like judicious about which ones they killed. I
Yeah,
really appreciated the writing of that.
like there's nowhere you can go with Melina now without pulling something out of your ass at the 11th
Oh yeah,
hour.
I don't
But like
that's a
that
real
door is
shame.
closed. But this time they were smart. They were like, okay, so Sindel's already kind of jacked up. We can do something with that. And Kung Lao's a revenant. We can mess him up even further. You can get the gore if the character's already kind of technically dead, you know? Most folks,
Yeah.
it's not going to matter.
Yeah.
I guess do we want to, since we're already jumping into plot points, do we want to give like an overall I liked it, I didn't like it, and then like get into the nitty-gritty?
Yeah,
Oh,
I think
yeah.
that's a good approach, but I do want to ask one thing, and that's for Temp. So, just for full awareness, Temp has not seen the movie. I think he's just here more for solidarity and to talk with us a bit about it. But I'm curious from his
Moral support.
perspective. Yeah, I'm curious from his perspective. Do you? What are your thoughts on it without seeing it so far? Why haven't you seen it? I guess that's probably a question people are going to ask. Why haven't you seen the movie, given that it's gotten a pretty positive reception from a lot of people that swore it off or really didn't love the last one?
Well, in other circumstances, I probably would have checked it out because I mean I didn't like 2021, but so far like it's out of the people I talked to on the server, it's like 92% positive. Yeah, I was really surprised. Nonetheless, though, I think the main reason I'm not going to watch it is it's not even that big of a reason. It's just for me, an MK2 movie without Kuai Liang is a non-starter. That was my biggest line in the sand, and I couldn't do it honestly. Like I, I that's a big deal to me. Like Kuai Liang is a huge part of Mortal Kombat for me.
Yeah,
I just didn't want to see an MK2 movie that doesn't have the younger Sub Zero because that that it, for me, I can't do it. I don't blame anyone else for doing it. I personally could not do it.
sure. Okay. Well,
No,
I was
I
just
can buy
curious.
that.
Yeah, that's it's good to hear
That's, that's
where you're
loyalty.
at. So I think for each of us, right, there was probably I don't think any of us were planning on watching it, at least not in theaters, maybe like a curiosity watch down the road or something. But I think each of us probably had the points, the threshold of where we're like, huh, maybe, maybe there's something to this. Maybe it's worth giving a shot. And for me personally, I can say what allowed me to give it a chance. I was always going to watch it, but I was going to wait for it to come to streaming or something. But seeing how many people that I value their opinion or trust their opinion really loved it and aren't just like the types that love anything that comes out Mortal Kombat, because there was some positive reception from the early screenings for those that got to go see it. There's some in the community that I do think they have valuable opinions or anything like that, but they're also the types that usually are like, oh, this guy, he usually likes most things, right? So he's not going to be as harsh of a critic about it. So I don't know that just because he liked it doesn't mean that necessarily we're going to like it. But just seeing the overwhelming support, like 9 out of 10 doctors recommend type of support, led to me giving it a shot in the theaters. And I actually got to the point where I got excited to see it. And that's, I was like, okay, there might be something to this. I don't know how about you guys?
I mean, I was not going to bother. I was down on this thing until almost the 11th hour.
Yeah.
I was in no way convinced that this was going to be a waste of, like, this is not going to be a waste of my time and, effort. And I just, one of the things that got me into this bad headspace about MK in recent times is just how crushingly, soul crushingly, awfully bad I thought that MK 2021 was. And my reaction then was today is still the same. It's like, this movie, I feel like, has no business being as good as it was for the amount of damage the first one did. But like the fact that they sidestepped so much of it and crafted something out of so many parts of the MK mythos that still felt like a cromulent, if use that word, I, a logical film, a logical MK film. Not without some MacGuffins like MK usually is, but it felt like a movie that was actually made by people who gave a crap to make a good MK story, who understood what its characters were for. And up to the end of this thing, near the end, I'm like, I'm not gonna bother. No, I'm not gonna bother. And then I start seeing all these like people on our Discord, and they're like, okay, this is actually really good. This is good. Check this out. And then like I see, okay, wait, Razor liked it, kinda. No, because he and I were like, we are the biggest freaking critics of anything that comes out that's MK in a modern, under a modern lens. And I'm hearing even Razor liked it, and I'm like, okay, all right, okay, I gotta check it out. And I did, and I went out, and I had one of the best fucking nights in my entire year thus far. I was blown away. I would like to go see it again, at least twice more when I have the time and a bit of fun set aside. My only regret is that AMC theaters up north of the border typically don't get a lot in the way of merch. Otherwise, I might have me a Shao Kahn popcorn bucket.
Yeah. Razor, what was your turning point? Did you see it in the theater? Well, that's a weird question to ask. I should have said, don't answer that. Don't answer that. Don't answer that. Don't answer that. I don't know why I even asked that question. Moving on.
My process when I'm not sure about something tends to be to see it through less giving it an investment means. But I liked it, and then you move on. You go forward from there. Maybe you do give it some money down the road. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I like to try before I buy.
Understandable.
But yeah, I mean, I was always gonna see it. I see everything. I need information because I am, as small as our community is, an influencer within that community, and people want to know what I think. So, and also, I don't mind hate watching things. I see things I don't like all the fucking time because they're an adaptation of something I do like, and I've got to
Yeah.
know, like, did they get it right? Did they fuck it up? What's the story? And so, I did. I've seen the movie several times now. Uh, and I was very pleasantly surprised. I mean, my my bar is much lower than it used to be because 2021 is not just bad Mortal Kombat, it's not about what Mortal Kombat's about. It's not really a Mortal Kombat thing. It just has the
Yeah.
name on it. And that's also how I feel about the last video game. So when you're getting official products made by the creators of the thing that aren't the thing, now all I want, like my low bar, is just make it about Mortal Kombat. And weirdly enough, I mean, they took bits and pieces from multiple different games to put this plot together. But on the whole, it's mostly kind of an adaptation of Mortal Kombat 2, it's called Mortal Kombat 2. Holy shit.
There's an Outworld tournament. Like
Yes,
the
they go
depth,
to Outworld and fight at a kung fu tournament.
the deftness of it. The deftness is like, okay, so we spent this entire first film, plotting out a way to screw up the tournament we're used to seeing. Oh God, half the people are dead. Goro's dead. What do we do? Okay, we just say the tournament is the one that normally happens in Outworld against Shao Kahn. Just slide right on by. And I
Yeah,
like how they did that.
there's also like, I mean, as much of a shame as it is the way they got rid of Goro and Reptile. Um, in this movie, the roster, like if you look at the characters they put in the movie, the only ones that aren't from MK2 are Sindel and Quan Chi.
Yeah.
Like they kept the roster small, and that's always kind of my problem with these movies is that Mortal Kombat has way too big of a cast for a 2-hour film, I feel. Even this movie has some characters that there are so many in it they don't know what to do with. Like honestly, Shang Tsung does not get a lot of screen time at all.
I
Raiden
forget
is
he's there for
heavily
45 minutes of stretches.
sidelined. But for the most part, they figured out they stuck to like a small MK2 mostly roster, and they figured out what to do with each one where it was kind of valuable to have them in it. Like honestly, Shang is the one who gets the least, and that's kind of a shame, but he's not dead, so maybe next time, you know?
Yeah.
And also he was in the first one a little bit. Um and like I actually like seeing Quan Chi in it. I mean, if we were going back to, Mortal Kombat 9, one of my big complaints has always been like this guy isn't supposed to be working for Shao Kahn, but at this point it's just like they raise people from the dead in this movie, and I don't want to see anybody else do that because in the games they don't do that. Quan Chi is the one who does that.
Yeah.
So at
And
least, he's doing what he does.
there's still room time to Shinnok later on if we want to. We can still like talk about
Yeah,
that
I
amulet,
actually
where it comes from.
like
I don't
when we
think we're
start
done with
getting
that
into
amulet.
nitpicks and complaints, my biggest worry is that they left this one off in a way where I don't know what they do for the third. Like I'm not sure what game they adapt. I guess the thing that would make most sense is to do something MKX-esque involving Shinnok.
Yeah, we're not
But
going.
it's kind
We're,
of,
we're not getting the Earthrealm invasion. I just don't think that that's happening.
I mean, they could do like New York if they had budget. I don't know if they will, but they could have Shinnok be the one doing it, like
Yeah,
combine
like
3 and
I could
4.
I could maybe see that. I could maybe see like kind of a post-apocalyptic MK3 thing, but it's actually Shinnok pulling the strings instead. That could work.
But I don't know, it feels like they're never gonna have enough money for these movies to like leave the tiny sound stages because that is my biggest complaint with this film is um the sets, like the scope, I guess, and the set dressing and some of the aesthetics. Because I thought like 50% of the movies in places that look really cool. Like I like how they did Raiden's Sky Temple, and we spend quite a bit of time there. I like when they get teleported to random different stages, like in the game, and they got the Deadpool, they got the portal, they got the
Yeah.
bottom of the pit. But like 50% of the movie takes place in this town square and outworld that just looks like Diagon Alley from Harry Potter. And that was kind of my biggest complaint with the film. Just I didn't like the way it looked. It's like when you're watching Batman 89 and they're always in the same street. Cause Tim Burton just built, this fucking on a movie set.
I will say, in light of the sets, you make a good point that a lot of it. I what I want to say is that I liked some of the sets enough that I agree with you that I wish there were more sets because the ones that are there I thought were really cool. Like the Deadpool, I thought looked amazing. I genuinely
Yeah,
thought
yeah.
that looked really good. The pit was
That is
interesting. It's different, but what were you saying, Shen?
that is one of the things I have to give the movie major credits and kudos for. Like we've gotten versions of stuff in prior films, like things that are identifiable as kind of like the pit at the end of MK95. You've kind of got maybe a
We
sort
had
of
like
taste of Scorpion's lair in Hell
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
in
we had like the
95.
the ruins of a tower.
Yeah, something tower esque.
It had the
But
window.
this thing went out of its way, out of its hard way to give us like the Deadpool, what looked like the bottom of the pit,
Yeah.
like or the portal, and it really does in my heart a lot of good to see a movie that actually tries to do that. there's a lot of respect for the spirit of Outworld in this movie, way more than there was in the prior movie, where it was like just
A
a bunch of
barren
vaguely
thing.
purple areas or like a
It was
bridge
it was
underground or
just a
something.
rock quarry in the first
Yeah,
movie.
it was a purple rock quarry, and this one they went out of their way to give us some Outworld
Oh
I
yeah,
did
content.
and
really like
how could we
seeing the
not?
Tarkatan camp.
Oh yeah, the Turcotten camp. But
Um,
how could we not? How could we be talking about like stage representation without talking about like the giant colorful portal? Like that was so sick for
Yeah.
Liu versus Kung Lao. That just, and I just loved how like saturated it actually was. They did not hold back. It did not look just gritty and desaturated like is often the case. Like it was just overwhelmingly blue and then overwhelmingly red at times. I thought that looked so good. I really like that. So yeah, to back to your point though, I wish there were more of the stages and we didn't return to the just the little town square thing as many times as we did. I mean, I appreciated coming full circle from the beginning with Edinia and Gerard. I'm always gonna fuck that up, but uh, some things never change.
it should be pronounced Gerard. The fact that they just say Jared like he's the fucking subway guy has always pissed me off. It's spelled with 2 R's and an O.
Yeah. But yeah, the fact that it comes full circle for the how it culminates at the end and the climax, I like that. But yeah, we didn't need to see Katana versus Cage there. I think that's the one that felt the most
Actually, like
missed.
Kitana versus Cage, like uses the buildings, like she
Yeah,
like
that's true.
smashes him through a roof and stuff. I thought that was. It's just that then Jackson Jade happens there, and then the final fight happens there too. I
Oh
just
yeah,
wish
yeah,
they
yeah,
had a
yeah.
little more money, and the final fight could have been in like a coliseum, you
Yeah,
know?
the Colosseum would have been great, but
Yeah.
Because they wanted an audience for that setting, and it's the last fight with Shao Kahn. It super would have fit in a coliseum, but if they'd had the money, and they just didn't.
Yeah.
it is a shame.
So yeah, I would put that under the pros and cons about the movie is yeah, wish they could have done more, but I did like some of the ones that were there. I thought were done spectacular, so I was definitely really enamored by that. Well, I mean, we can go down the line and share like just do one by one, like a dislike followed by one by one a like. So what Razor mentioned one of his biggest complaints or nitpicks or whatever you want to call it. Chad, what was one of the things you disliked about the movie, like that stuck out to you?
I'm not used to Baraka being so wacky. Like, it works for what they're doing with the character, but it's so bizarre to see him portrayed in such a comedic form. The essence of his character is still there, but I would never have put money on the day when you were telling me he was all about Johnny fucking Cage. Like,
Yeah, it's kind of like
they
it's
plan
an
for
odd
laughs.
feeling.
It's weird. It's not terrible, but it's very bizarre.
I liked like 95% of how they used him, and it is kind
Yeah.
of funny that, after the fight is over, he's like, "That was a really good fight. You're pretty cool. I'll help
Yeah.
you guys out." It's just that when they end the movie at the campfire scene, and then all the heroes get together and they walk towards the camera in a line like the astronauts from It's a Right Stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
Armageddon.
And
It's just funny.
Baraka's with them. Yeah, the movie Armageddon with Bruce Willis and
Yeah. Oh boy.
It's not
it's just weird
terrible.
that Baraka and Kano are there, and like they've got Quan Chi tied up, but it's just
Yeah.
I don't know. Good guy Baraka, I think you need to be judicious about it. I don't think he should be like
There's-
with the team.
There's been some precedent
Bro
here,
thinks he's part of
here
the
and there
team.
about it.
We're on the
There's,
team.
there's 11. There's the Malibu comics from way back, and that never worked well. So, see, if you're gonna take Barack along with the good guys, that's where I want to see it. That's what I want to see it happen. I want to see it fail, and it'll be funny to see it fail because it can't work.
Yeah, like if
Once he
he
gets to
doesn't
know-
fit in, and if he's the one who's like, I'm only here because Shao Kahn fucked my people over, but also I hate you all.
Like once he gets to know Johnny for more than like 3 days, That's it. It's over. The thing though that actually really does come across that as a bit of an oversight is that we kind of get a bit of a gimped version of what happens to Sindel. They keep it accurate, but then like after Sonya fights her and she gets like her head shanked in, we're supposed to kind of glean that she's already dead and she can kind of be kept together that way. They never
Yeah, I
really
thought
go into detail about anything that happens to her after Kitana grows up.
yeah, there's a weird thing where like the movie starts with the big flashback of how Jarrett died and Adelia was conquered, which is the story as we all know it. It's, well done. And then in the present day, Sidel's like there. And oh yeah, by the way, I'm undead. Like she kill herself off screen? Did Dom, and Cholo tell them don't mention suicide because it
I
bothers
don't
me?
like. It feels like they did glean over it, like they glossed over it. Like you got Shao Kahn going, "Oh well, it's like Alicia in Batman '89. I've made her over in line with my new philosophy. Now she's a living work of art."
Yeah,
Blah.
I do think it's a little bit
I
of a
just
missed
No.
opportunity, yeah, for her character to not. I mean, you don't have to show it, but you can definitely allude to it more of like showing her in a point of despair and like she feels like she has no other way. Like at
well, I
least
think
kind of
what
play that up to put more sympathy on the character, I guess, or empathy,
I
whatever.
think the part where it gets weird is after Sonya kills her. And then the next time, like halfway through the movie, Katana is like captured because she's been meeting with Raiden and the good guys, and Khan is questioning her. And Sindel is there, and this is the first time we've seen her since Sonya killed her, and
Yeah.
she's like perfectly quiet, doesn't say a word as Shao Kahn is threatening to kill her again to scare Katana into talking. And Sindel is wearing like a weird kind of gimp hood, and it's like, did the pit spike through her brain leave her brain damaged? Does Sindel need to be put in a home? What are we doing with her in the sequels? This seems fucked.
I
And
think that
then
there's
when
just
Kitana, at the end of the movie, when Kitana takes the throne, Jade's there with her, and Sindel is nowhere to be found. Did Kitana put her in a nursing home?
Yeah, strange.
it
Where is
feels like there's
Sindel? I
some
just want to
deleted.
know.
It feels like there's some deleted scene going on here. I'm. It's too big of an omission for it to be something easily forgotten like that.
Yeah.
It just feels kind of uncomfortable. Like, Grandma has dementia now.
Um so as far as like good guy Baraka, I did appreciate that and that kind of caught me off guard. Um I do think it's the most this is a very low bar and maybe I'm forgetting something, but this is the most enjoyable live action Baraka we've gotten. And like I said, that's a very low bar because in Annihilation he was just like a barking dog thing there for just mere seconds, and then
Yeah, yeah.
I God, Rebirth Dr. Baraka. Fucking I don't know, man. I don't know if we
We've
count that.
we've come such a long way since those days. I'm so happy.
Alan Zane, codename Baraka.
Oh god. But yeah, I appreciated the silliness. You got to kind of have that fun. It didn't have to be Baraka. I don't know who else you could do. Maybe Reptile or
I
something.
thought
But the
they did it
lovable,
cleverly.
yeah, the lovable jobber monster guy was done funny, I guess. But I would say one of my complaints that comes to mind was not playing the theme song in the actual movie. Not not
There
giving
was
that.
some of the like they worked like some of it into the track that plays during Liu Kang versus
Yeah, like
Kulao.
little melodies that kind of reminisce
I
like
thought that was well done there.
yeah.
I would have liked if they, I don't know, because like the final battle stuff is so dramatic that it wouldn't have fit. Because
Yeah.
like Katana's going through an emotional thing while she's fighting Shao Kahn.
I don't know,
It's
man,
not
like
quite like the classic theme song is very, yeah, now we're having fun, like
sure. I think the perfect spot, I mean, for me, I like it as the climax. The good guys are down, they dig deep, and then they start making their comeback. I do like it. And I get your point with the emotion aspect, but if I without I've only seen it the one time, and it's been a couple weeks now. But if I were to like pinpoint in my brain two spots where it could have fit, would be the main spot I was thinking is when Liu Kang pieces out and it transitions from him to Katana getting her moment, and her restraints are broken and she's now gonna kick ass. Like I think you could do it there, and it's okay that she gets beaten down at a point and she still has to overcome and beat Khan. That can be your big emotion moment. But when she gets her restraints taken off and she's gonna start kicking ass, that's when you start the coming in with the breathing and
know,
test your might. And you
I'd
know,
have to look at how it was edited. It might work there, but I'm also afraid that you'd get one of those things where it starts to play and you only hear a few seconds of it before there's like a switch over to,
sure,
Johnny and them in the Nether Realm or
yeah, yeah,
something
yeah.
that has to cause the music to go away. Because the last thing you want is like that cheap ass moment like in the Power Rangers reboot when they call the Zords and it plays Go Go Power Rangers for literally 5 fucking seconds and that's all you hear of the song.
Yeah, no, that would be a cock tease. I don't want that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't. I mean, that's the cock tease is kind of how I felt about the little jingle that they kept, alluding to the song. But yeah, I don't know. You gotta make the movie with that song in mind is all I'm saying. Like, yeah, placing it with what was there might be a little bit hard, like you're saying, but like when you're
Well, I guess
designing
this
this
is
film
kind of
and you're
a
writing this out and you're shooting the movie, you need to know where that fucking thing is. Because I am so
I mean, if
tired.
I'm
That is like criminally
yeah.
underutilized in this franchise's history. There's a reason why when they used the remix version for the MK11 trailer, which came the fuck out of nowhere after not using that song for decades, there's a reason why people were getting goosebumps and tearing up to the like just the fact that they even brought it back is because they just don't use it, and it's crazy to me because everybody knows that song.
Yeah, I
Everybody
mean
can
this is a
recognize that.
problem. This is a problem with a lot of franchises. Like if you look at the Michael Bay Transformers movies, they never once used the song More Than Meets the Eye. And
Yeah,
it
they're too
just it
ashamed
kind
of
of
it.
drives me crazy. Like you'll be watching something that's a remake of like an 80s or 90s property and they only put the theme song in the end credits.
Yeah,
If
it's
I'm
like
making a Mortal Kombat movie, the thing I would do is actually like it's kind of becoming a lost art to have real songs play during your movie in
yeah,
general.
it's all orchestral things.
And like if I'm making a Mortal Kombat movie, then I'm doing it like 95 and Annihilation, where every fight scene is a needle drop, and then when you get to the Techno Syndrome, it fits in with the rest of the movie
Yeah,
because you've been playing songs every fight.
yeah, yeah. That's
I
that's
think
that's
you
my
have to
point.
tee it
Is
up
like,
like that.
man,
It has to feel more organic by setting
exactly.
up that,
That's what I'm saying. Is like I get if when you get to the sound and that's that's after the movie's already filmed and yada yada yada. They're trying to put the sound design in last. Basically, I get that at that point maybe they couldn't find the best spot. Though I thought
I think
somebody that, and I'm not going to name names obviously, but I thought somebody that went and saw one of the fan screenings, ahead of time just to like when they were gathering feedback, said that the song actually played during the movie in the original cut, but then they changed it. So
yeah, what I've heard is like the early screenings, like the test audience stuff that they did like a year ago. They did have like temp tracks, like temporary music because the soundtrack wasn't done that included that. And they
yeah,
also said that when Raiden tackled Shang at the end, they put in the right about it for that version and that it didn't make it to the final.
yeah. So I don't know. My point is to drive it home. You need to be designing that movie with that song in mind. And I like your idea of putting a lot more of the actual like techno, the really awesome fight music throughout the movie, so it doesn't stand out as much because that is what I still appreciate about the originals. Um, yeah, because it was disappointing that it wasn't used until the credits. Because I'm like, that gets me fucking like that'll jump a letter grade for me. Like that just shit gets me going. That gets me right in the feels. That's the biggest nostalgia bait you can do, in my opinion. And
I feel like
it's
I remember hearing
criminally
a bit of
underutilized.
a lead up to it, but I could see how it could have been changed. I have this feeling I was waiting for it to start playing. I felt certain it was coming, and then it just sort of shifted. So I think those people that saw that early version, that early screening, they're probably onto something. It sounds right to me. In any case, I will be downloading the soundtrack tonight. Now that I've forgotten, now that I've remembered to finally do it. And I will say, I think Wallfish's score actually stepped up a couple notches. I don't remember much of the music about the first film at all, but this one though, this one had some moments where I was like, "Hey, music's kind of nice here," which is something that once more I greatly appreciate in any MK film. It's all about sound design, man. It's all about sound design.
But yeah, all right. Well, those are one of our complaints from each of us. What about Chad? What was one of your favorite things about the movie?
Can we talk about how Josh Lawson is the reason that these films are amazing, if they are at all to anyone? Because Jesus Christ, man, he's just. I don't want movies without this man's Kano. This man's Kano is life.
He always has the best dialogue. I don't know if he's ad-libbing or what.
And none of it feels like he's reading from a script. I think he's just like, he's looking at the guy in the Quan Chi makeup. He's like, fucking Pennywise, cue balls. Just it all just comes off of his brain. It's fantastic. I mean, no, he was the only really good thing about the first film, and he continues to be amazing in this one. I also love how they bring it back. It's like, what is this thing? I believe it was called a Kano.
How did they not give him the cybernetic eye though when they brought him back? It set it up. That's I don't want to go back to
He literally had
negatives,
an eye
but,
stabbed out, and he still doesn't have the plate. It's starting to get distracting.
It's the perfect setup. That's literally one of the takeaways from the first one was like, okay, he's gonna get his eye in the next one because he gets it stabbed out at the end here. And then they have the chance when Quan Chi resurrects him. Instead, Quan Chi just makes him a regular eye. Why? The whole point of this movie is a course correct. Let's do well by the fans and make it look more like the games and feel more like the games. And you've doubled down on the regular eye that just shoots a laser. So that was distracting to me. It's just why? And I get maybe there's a funny joke here where he literally gets it stabbed out again and then gets it. But like, why? That's the only thing missing about his Kano is the eye plate.
It's true.
So I don't know.
It's true. Missed opportunity.
But yes, he is amazing in the movie. Take nothing away from him and all that. Yeah, he is absolutely fantastic. One of the best parts of the movie every single time, for sure. Razor, how about you?
Favorite part?
Yeah, like one of your favorites or your most favorite, whatever.
I mean, I it's kind of Kano too for me. I don't know. He's just got a fun energy about him that.
The way you're describing this sounds like you're in love with this man. I don't know. He's just got a fun energy. I don't know. You're
why
swooning.
would we be in love with this man? He was largely responsible for me being able to get any entertainment at all out of the first film.
That's very fair.
And whenever he's on screen in this one, he's just such a treat to watch. You actually want to root for Kano.
Well, it's like how Christopher Lambert and Lyndon Ashby were the best parts of the '95 movie. The comedy tends to be like that's where like if an actor has charisma, that tends to be where it shines the most.
And you got to be and comedy is something you got to be careful with because it's so easy to like completely fall flat. But that does not happen with this Kano at all. So
I mean, he's just he feels so casual, like it's never forced. Is the thing?
Yeah, absolutely. What did you think about him switching sides again? Do you like that aspect about his character? I mean, obviously it's very fitting of Kano, but what did you think that the good guys accepted him back?
I do think like it feels like a weird moment at the very end when they're at the campfire and they're like, and we're gonna bring everybody back, and Sonya throws in there, and then we're gonna kill Kano, and he
Yeah.
just kind of goes, he's just kind of like, oh, okay, whatever. Like, there had to be a better line for that moment.
Yeah, like
That felt like that he shot a different scene, and that's what they edited in. Like, they just
that's true. That is
he didn't
very
seem to be
true.
having the same conversation as the rest of them in that moment. And also, Sonya doesn't have a reason to hate him so much in these movies. He's never actually done anything to her
Yeah,
except
he's
that
not
he
like
betrayed them in the first
killed
one.
her partners. Like if he killed Jax or something, it'd make a little more sense. But yeah.
Yeah, no, like, so
Like,
there's not.
he's allowed to passively dislike the guy.
Yeah.
He's a sleazy, slimy piece of
Yeah.
crap.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
fair.
he's a creep, but
It's
Baraka's
not
there too. And
personal.
Baraka eats people. Baraka's a cannibal.
Yeah, but he's lovable.
A lovable cannibal is easier to get along with than a lovable gangster.
Is he a cannibal or is he just misunderstood?
He literally says he wants to kill and eat Johnny.
Okay, he's a cannibal, all right? He's understood. He's not misunderstood. He's perfectly understood.
Yes, I know exactly what Baraka's about. He told me I was watching the movie.
Okay, so you guys big fans of Kano. I agree with that. I would say since we're talking like characters and portrayals, that was going to be one of my favorite things is I absolutely adored Kitana in this movie. In my opinion, she is my heart of this movie. Like I loved a lot of aspects about it, but I thought, and I'm not even like a huge Katana guy. I mean, like historically, I loved her in MKX. She was my main in MKX. That to me is Katana, and that is doing a lot of heavy lifting of getting her among my like top 3 or 5 favorite characters in the franchise because of MKX Katana. But the portrayal in here, I think she looks the part. She fit the part. She had badass scenes. I love that she was like I love that she was such a prominent character in like the main character of the movie. I just thought that was really smart. Like, I don't know. It just worked for me. I hope to see more
Yeah,
of
I
her.
think she was really good at the role. Most of the casting in these movies, I think, is really good. I'm a little iffy on Carl Urban as Johnny.
Yeah.
And I liked him in the
That's
first
something I want to
movie,
get to.
but
Yeah, eventually.
I'm starting to think Hiroyuki Sanada's too old for Scorpion.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
don't know, he doesn't feel like Scorpion in this movie. He feels like an old dead samurai who's dressed in gold armor.
yeah. That's very
I
true.
don't think I don't think he plays like the thing that I'm always looking for in Scorpion, and even the ones in the games, ever since they got rid of Patrick Seitz as the voice actor, Scorpion hasn't felt like Scorpion because he doesn't emote the rage strongly enough. Like he doesn't seem out of his mind crazy with anger the way like Patrick Seitz was just so good at like yelling, you know?
Yeah.
I want Scorpion to yell. I want him to seethe. And Hiroyuki Sanada's Scorpion, he says vengeance will be mine as he's chasing Noob Saibot around, and he doesn't he sounds calm.
Yeah. Do you think
I
that
also
actor
really
would have been
hate it really bothers me that he keeps doing the fire breath without, showing me his skull first.
Yeah. Yeah, that is weird. Do you think that actor would have been better for like a Bo Raicho or something like, or even like a Shujinko?
Maybe I don't know where you'd put like a Shujinko in one of these movies. I've actually seen so the actor who plays Raiden, uh, it is often said Raiden doesn't have a lot to do in these movies. I don't know, like the actor's accent is kind of too thick. It feels like they don't give him very many lines because of it.
I feel like there's still. It
I've
felt like more of a work in progress, but I was still having that mental urge to just recheck what I heard in my head.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
So,
I have heard that his actor his first name is really hard to pronounce. I don't want to butcher it, so I'm trying not to say it. But Raiden's actor is in other things where he gets to speak Japanese as his primary language and they subtitle him or whatever. And he plays more of like sort of a funny Bo Raicho-esque character in stuff where he actually gets to like emote, and he's actually really good at that kind of
Hmm.
thing. So I've been told that Raiden's actor would have made a good Bo Raicho.
Yeah, I could see that. I just in general, that portrayal still remains one of my low points of both movies because that was one of my complaints about the first movie. Is I just thought Raiden felt like his portrayal of Raiden, and I don't know if it's the actor or if it's the direction or the writing, whatever, but just it doesn't have much charisma to it. Not that he needs to be super charismatic, but I don't know. It just feels really dry. Yeah, and I felt that in this movie too. So Shad put it well that I like when he says something, I'm like thinking too hard about what he's saying. So I agree. It just feels a little
I
dry.
feel really terrible saying that because he's given a good performance. Like the entire scene where he's just sitting there feeding birds with Johnny, and Johnny's like not knowing what the hell to make of it. It's a great Raiden moment. I just wish I could actually like step back and appreciate it more, not have to
Yeah.
like run it through that mental filter.
Do you feel like Christopher Lambert almost is like bittersweet in his portrayal of Raiden because it has just ingrained in our minds so much about how amazing his Raiden was, but not necessarily that that's how Raiden has been portrayed historically?
I so here's the thing, like it's not just Christopher Lambert, because obviously there's also Jeffrey Meek in the TV show, who was a different actor playing the same version of the character and trying to follow in that mold. Like in general, threshold things, and then there's Clancy Brown in Defenders of the Realm. He was funny too. But they're all like that was kind of Threshold's interpretation of the character.
Yeah.
The thing of it is that when you compare that to the games, it's better. And it like if I'm watching different media about the same characters and one version is better than another, I want the better version every time. Like just adopt that. And I feel that same way about other stuff too. Like for example, if you're talking about how to like you're watching a bunch of DC stuff and you're talking about how to adapt Aquaman. Comics Aquaman is a very kind of dry, boring character. And then you've got like there's this bombastic Hercules like Aquaman in the cartoon Brave and the Bold. And then there's Jason Momoa's like have a beer with me Aquaman in the movies. And you watch these things, and I just want every Aquaman to be Jason Momoa's version now. Adopt that into the comics, carry it over. Why not? That you've done it with Kano, you've done it with Johnny Cage. You did it with Raiden had long silver hair in the 3D era, which is from the Christopher Lambert version, like that. Why
I'm not
not
gonna.
adopt his personality? It makes more sense for the character. Like he's thousands of years old and he's watched the champions that he trains up lose so many tournaments. At a certain point he should start to adopt a little more of a, well, whatever happens happens. Or I actually think it's sort of like what appeals to me about Threshold Raiden is the same thing that makes Yoda work in The Empire Strikes Back, where when Luke first meets him, Yoda is pretending to be a native creature of the planet Dagobah. Like he's pretending that he's not a wise Jedi master because he's testing Luke. He's seeing how much of me will this guy tolerate? Does he have the patience to make a good Jedi, or will he be a jerk to me and therefore doesn't deserve to be trained? And I think the mentors who act that way in media are the best mentors. I think that's just like the ideal character archetype for a wise master who trains people.
Yeah.
So
You
I don't
know,
know.
circling back
There's
real quick, just want to make a comment since we were talking about like, comparing actors and portrayals and how, you might have big shoes to fill and how that can play into our how we receive these performances. That, even set like that speaks to how good this Kano is, because I really like Trevor Goddard's Kano, and I think historically a lot of people love that. And
Like,
yet, look at how much we're fawning over this Kano performance.
Trevor left his mark on the character for sure. Like, just having the right voice, having that right amount of fleas and like roguish charm to really leave enough an imprint on that character for years. That's one thing. And the fact that this guy here Josh Lawson can actually make this kind of an impact and show us another dimension to that character and kind of make us wonder, yeah, like, wouldn't Kano actually want to be on whatever the winning side is? Is he that stupid he'll just throw in for bad all the time? No, I like that. I like that about this Kano. This Kano is still out for number one, but
Yeah,
he
he
can be
did.
actually entertaining and a little bit endearing as he does so. Big
I mean,
advantage
it
over
makes
the
a
game
good
Kano.
point when they're like, "Why should we trust you?" He's like, "Have you seen Outworld? It's all rocks and sand and fucking sad people. I don't want that." It's a good argument. why
These
why
people are
did Games Kano pick Shao Kahn's side? Outworld sucks.
these people are like writing Kano in a revolutionary fashion. It's fantastic. Oh my god. Ah. So
Well, yeah.
hmm?
I was just gonna say, yeah, like what
Sure.
else what else stands out from the movie, good or bad?
Do you want to talk about Shao Kahn himself a little bit now?
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, he's the main
I have
villain. A
thoughts.
lot of
He
screen
is
time.
he is the main villain. He gets a lot of
I
screen
might have a
time.
hot take.
Okay, okay. Like a lot of these characters, like Shang Tsung and Jax and Sonya, like and Liu Kang, even to a certain degree, like there's not a lot of we can say about them now that we haven't said about them in the first film. Like any problems about them in the first film were because of their character, the way that they were being portrayed, so to speak. But I feel like those guys that brought their game there brought it here to tier two as well. But for Shao Kahn though, for a new character, that hasn't really been done justice, let's say, in all the ways we'd like, unless we really, really like Alien Bounty Hunters and the actors who play them. I was pretty impressed, pretty pleased. He felt like he struck a pretty imposing presence. They used a lot of like shadow effects and made him seem pretty menacing. Gave him some of that nice red eye glare that we're all very
Love
much
it.
fans of that we miss.
Love that part.
Had him fight suitably brawlish, brutish,
Yeah.
nasty, but skilled. Didn't just come across as a dumb barbarian. Got a little bit of magic going on too. It was nice to see it happen. I was extremely happy with this interpretation of Shao Kahn. I mean, there's a lot. There's a running. There's an ongoing like obviously a lot of the visuals are very based on MK11, MKX. So he's got like the freaking dragon scale skin, which I'm obviously
Mhm.
not big a fan of. But I mean, I can really easily forgive that if you're gonna make him look and sound the way he does, and he does sound really good. He doesn't have that like Tadashore thing that he had going on in MK11. I actually liked how he sounded in this
Yeah.
in the movie. It was deep. It was resonant. This was a good Shao Kahn, a very good Shao Kahn.
Yeah, so I don't know how much I've talked about it, but I'm sure when we did our character rankings I probably mentioned it, but I've never been a big Shao Kahn guy for one reason or another. I mean, I love like the Steve Ritchie voice and the awesome performance that we've got from him in the classic games, but I think in more modern games it kind of really just didn't land for me. And he's just not been a character that I've loved or looked forward to much for one reason or another. So my hot take is this might be the most I've ever enjoyed Shao Kahn.
The most.
Coming from somebody that didn't really love him, and that's not to like I said, the classic version of Shao Kahn, game wise, in my opinion, I think it blows anything that we've gotten since then out of the water. Like obviously MK11 and all that crap. And that's pretty easy bar to clear. But game wise, the classics are good. But this is the first time where I'm like experiencing Shao Kahn where I'm like, I get it. Like, this is a really cool character. I didn't really feel that way before. So it won me over a lot. I love the glowing eyes. I thought the way the voice was done it wasn't like quite Bane levels of, like weird modulated, you know what I'm talking about? Like where it's kind of muffled. Like the voice was booming, but in a clear way that I thought was done really well. I thought the presence of the character was handled really cool, like just his physical presence. So yeah, I really dug it, and he got a lot of screen time in the movie, so that probably helped. But yeah, I don't know. It really won me over to a point where I'm like, I dig this character. It was kind of like that epiphany moment for me. Like, oh, I can see it now. I can see why people like Shao Kahn. So that's
Yeah,
pretty.
he's never really been adapted correctly until now. Like in terms of, I've always said that like the dynamic between him and Kitana is supposed to be like Thanos and Gamora, right?
Yeah.
That what stuff has Shao Kahn been in before this? There's Annihilation,
There's
and
Annihilation, and there's Conquest.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Conquest was all right. Actually,
Yeah.
Conquest.
Like Jeffrey Meek's portrayal in Conquest is fantastic, but
But I mean, Conquest
But
also had its own ideas. It was a late night cable show that was
yeah.
trying to sex things up. So sometimes he would look at Kitana and be
Oh
like, "You
god.
remind me of your mother,"
Oh
and it
no.
gets weird. And she'd be like,
it's
"Ugh,
nice that
don't
we're
fucking
eschewing
talk to
that.
me."
Yes,
I don't want
Um,
peace. I want problems always. Let's not forget that.
well,
you know what? That is an adaptation of Shao
yep,
Kahn that
yep,
exists in the world.
yep. Thank you for the reminder.
But yes, he was one of the portrayals that I did not expect to be as good as as it turned out to be.
Yeah. So yeah.
That helmet is really hard to make look good in live action. Past attempts have not been up to snuff, but I think they pulled off the helmet. I think like
Yeah. Yeah.
even the
It's a good
scaly
point.
skin, like it's much more subdued compared to in the games, and it kind of works for me.
Yeah, I
I like this
agree
a
on all
hell
counts
of a
with
lot
the
Um,
more than I like 11 Con's outfit. That's for sure.
yeah. I think
I
the
did
helmet
like the
call out's a good one for sure. 'Cause
yeah, yeah.
when they revealed that, I'm sure when all of us were thinking this movie was gonna absolutely blow, and they revealed that look, a lot of people were giving it crap. But once faith was restored and you kind of saw how it was done, yeah,
I
I dig
actually
it. I dig the look.
when they first revealed the helmet, I was actually a little bit impressed because like the first shot that we ever saw of Cod, like in the pre-production stills or whatever, the
Yeah.
marketing before the movie came out, it's the shot of him like at the beginning right before he fights Jared, where he's coming like kind of out of the shadows, like he's got the sun back to him, so it's all like silhouette and all you can see is the red eyes, and that really works for me. Like the best part
Yeah.
about his look is the red eyes in those completely blacked out masked eye sockets.
It reminds me of the old MK2 live action commercial in a lot of good ways.
Yes.
Yeah, I think of the what I think of when I'm thinking of the glowing eyes is that original MK9 reveal trailer where Raiden and Khan are
Yeah,
fighting in the arena, and you see them both walking up to the screen. Oh, that was so cool! And the mask is coming and down over his face. Yeah, but yeah, Shao Kahn, very
I
good.
do like I don't know if I'm sold on the actor using his own voice with the British accent. I kind of wonder, like, because it's a full face mask that covers his mouth, you could have done the Darth Vader thing where you
Yeah,
dub over with a different actor.
I think there's a bit of trickery going on, but it's subtle trickery.
I kind of in my heart, I will always long for somebody doing a Steve Ritchie impression and rolling their R's.
As will I, as do I, but I'll take what we got here. It's pretty damn good.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. I also like, it's the little parts that you wouldn't think of that are like, that person's actually really good for the role. Like, I really like Sonya and Jax in these movies. I really like, yeah, Ludi Lin has put on some muscle, and he looks a lot more like Liu Kang in this one. I was kind of impressed.
It's true. It's
He's
true.
really like fitting for the role now. I wasn't sure about him in the first one, but he's working for me now.
While we're talking actors and portrayals, I think it warrants a discussion. We talked about it a bit in the Discord when we were kind of giving thoughts, but with Louis Tan and his portrayal of Cole, I feel like that guy got a raw deal because you look at more of his tweets, and historically, he says he's been a fan of Mortal Kombat since he was a kid, and he's
Yeah.
always wanted to play a Mortal Kombat character, and he was going to be in that Mortal Kombat, was it Legacy or X Generations or something like that?
He was
That
he
never
was
got released.
Was he Takeda?
No, he was Kung Jin, or he was going to be Kung
Yes,
Jin.
he was going to be Kung Jin in the third season of the web series that never got made, that was going to be disconnected from the first two seasons and just
Yeah.
like MKX stuff.
So he was going to be that, and that obviously got shit canned. And then he gets put in this position where he's, the fan insert point of view character, whatever you call that, in the first movie. So he has expressed interest in being Kenshi, Smoke, or Kuai Yang. And if you look, he said he's been training with the sword for like over 20 years or something, and you can see his videos on Twitter that he's put out of him training with it, and he looks really good with it. So, and he fits the look of Kenshi. Fuck it, just put the damn blindfold on him and make him Kenshi. I don't care.
A lot of
I
people
can't
have
say
said
no.
it. I saw there was like something with the director or the writer. Somebody on the movie said that they may in fact be bringing Louis Tan back to play a different character in the future.
Yeah.
I do think it's going to be a little weird. Like, are they going to acknowledge whoever he's playing happens to look like Cole, or are they just going to like not talk about it? I would prefer if they not talk about it rather than try to write some goofy shit.
Yeah, like you could do the Roseanne joke or whatever of just pointing out that, you look familiar or whatever, or that you're not the real whatever. But outside of like an off, tongue-in-cheek comment from Kano, like just a one-off comment, like I don't think you even need to acknowledge it. I think just have the dude be an awesome Kenshi, let him be able to be an actual Mortal Kombat character, one of his favorites, and that he would do well at. And that way he's not like just getting.
It's a shame that he got stuck with Cole because he is a good actor. I liked him in. He was a villain in the last season of Cobra Kai. That was fun. I think he can do a lot more. Obviously, he's a great martial artist, great like stunt guy and stuff. I do think he deserves better, and I would not mind if they recast him as someone else in the future.
I'll play devil's advocate right now and suggest that, yeah, absolutely, he wants to be Kenshi. He looks like a great Kenshi. I would be willing to accept some sort of bullshit fuckery where even if there's no body, you get a hold of the guy's soul somehow, because souls, right? They're 10 a penny. And maybe you make a new Sub-Zero out of it. Solve Temp's problem.
I don't want to.
It is a thing that, like, we are down an ice guy. We are down.
I don't want any weird jackassery. I just want Kuai Liang to come in like, "Hi, I'm from the Lin Kuei. There's robots chasing me."
So you want to like walk in with a business card.
Yeah. What?
Okay,
like
I'll take it. it.
It's a weird thing about these movies. They made Scorpion and Sub-Zero 400 years old, so now Bihan's little brother is 400 years old, and you're calling him little brother.
Problem. Like, I don't know. Say he's got shared ancestry or some shit.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't have
they
that much.
obviously like, they never explain it in either movie, but obviously they're just going, "Oh, cryomancers can live for a really long time. What the fuck ever." I think the fact that he's gonna be, like, that fucking old, I think you could do Grandmaster Sub-Zero and have Sector be, like, like a subordinate in the clan who turns against him with the robots.
Yeah.
Require a bit of
You know,
finagling, but not
like
impossible.
Sector is like a guy who works under him and is like, "I've come up with a way to turn us into robots." And Sub-Zero's like, "I don't want to do that." And Sector's like, "I'm taking your throne with my robots." And then that's how you it wouldn't be that different.
You know, it's
C Lab dialogue.
See,
Well, yeah,
I mean, if Lewis
do the
Tan
dialogue I'm
wants,
saying right now. That's not how it should go.
bro,
No,
But
I
you're right. We're
haven't
keeping
seen
it. It
C
all
Lab
stays.
2021 or whatever the fuck show that was in God since like 20 years. I forgot that show
I mean,
existed.
if he wants to be Kuai Liang or he wants to be Smoke, it's either we're gonna introduce some robots or like I don't know, we're gonna find a Nenra Smoke in hell or some shit, some fuckery. I just don't know how we're gonna do. It's the eternal problem. Like, how do you do the Sub-Zero soap opera contrasting with everything else that's already happening and going on? You know,
Well, this
yeah,
is a
I
good
mean,
segue.
there's
This is a good
how do
segue
you
of what would you now that there's a reason to maybe get excited for these movies because they've made a decent one. Uh, what do you want from the next one?
see that's the tricky thing because the reason this one is so good is because it had a game plot to model itself after. Like it's the basic structure of MK2. They come to Outworld for a tournament. Between the rounds, Kitana finds out about shenanigans and tells them, and so they've also got to do the shenanigans. That's the plot of MK2. That's the plot of this movie. It's very easy to crib. The next one, they don't have a model to follow anymore.
it really
So
does kind of have to be a loose.
what if 3 turns out as bad as the first one was because they don't have anything to copy now. They've got to make up their own shit.
You've kind of got to do a loose like MKX MK4
Yeah.
thing where
Yeah, I think you have to
you're
do
searching
like
for the good guy's souls
yeah, that's
and
the
putting
weird
in more
like
effort.
it's such a I feel like that campfire scene ending wrote them into a corner because how do
It,
you make a plot out of we kidnap Quan Chi and we're going to make him resurrect our friends? Like that feels like one scene.
Hmm?
I guess they've got to get the bodies. But yeah, I think what you kind of have to do now is go when Johnny destroyed the amulet, it set Shinnok free, so now we have to fight Shinnok, and then you do some kind of MKX thing, like maybe
I
we've
think
got
we're
to
like worked
invade
into
the
that
Nether
path
Realm
now.
to get our friends' souls or something, and then you do Revenant Kung Lao and Revenant Jax. And like Shinnok is like, you're invading my realm, taking things from me that fuck
Yeah,
off.
exactly.
And they have to like fight him to rescue Jackson Kung Lao or something. I don't know.
You know
But
what?
then like how
If
do you
they're
get
gonna
Sub-Zero and the robots in that? That's the weird
exact,
part.
but that's the problem. Like how?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
That's the big thing is because I know they were asking for Mortal Kombat. They were asking this like a couple months ago prior to the movie coming out, and a lot of people were throwing out like, "Oh, I want this character and I want that and this and the other," but it's like that is going to be the conundrum is how to make even a lick of sense.
Yeah, yeah. And you're talking about like Shang Tsung is still around and like the directors are like maybe he wanted maybe he suggested the amulet plot to Shao Kahn because he wanted it to fail so that he could do plans in the future. And it's like, shouldn't that be Quan Chi's thing? Isn't he the one who should want like the amulet to
I
be
mean,
destroyed to set Shinnok free? Or and
you
then there's
know,
like you're talking about Lewis Ten. Is Kenshi how you gonna work Kenshi coming into the story? I don't
Hmm.
know. That's the because
I
it's
feel
like what
I
I
feel like
really want to see. If you ask me like what I want to see most in the sequel, it's I
Yeah.
want Raiden and Liu Kang to actually do shit, and I want Sub Zero and the robots. Those are the two things I want.
Okay.
I feel like there's going to be a bit of blurring happening. I mean, you know, depending where they go for it with it, depending what they do while they're down in hell, because that's where we're going.
Hmm.
What if we find a mummified army? We've still got Shang, we still got Quan Chi kicking around.
I guess they could jump straight to the Deadly Alliance.
We could. I think that there's elements that they can put in place if they're careful.
I just think you've gotta work so many different separate pieces that are like scattered across the board.
Yeah.
Like
I
we've gotta
think we're
you can't like it's
one way
you
or
could
another.
excuse not having a Sub-Zero in this movie because you've got Bi-Han and he used to be Sub-Zero, and so they can say the name Sub-Zero a couple times, but you can't keep going without a Sub-Zero. So we've got to get Kuai Liang in there. And then you've got the idea of the heroes want to bring back Jackson Kung Lao. And also, we don't really even know what happened to Liu Kang. Like, he seemed to just spontaneously become the god of fire all on his own.
He's the last son of the dragon, whatever
Like,
that means.
he gets, like, mortally stab wounded. And he goes, I'm not gonna die, I'm gonna teleport away.
That did
It's
feel a little bit
ambiguous,
like a
it's
way to
very
like
vague.
it felt like a way to get him out of the way without wholesale slaughtering him like they did with the rest of the character. Like,
Well, yeah,
it's just,
apparently
this is Katana's movie, and yeah, like apparently an earlier version of a screening version had like a nastier death for him.
yeah, he just
And it
straight up
directed
dies,
poorly.
and people didn't like it, which they shouldn't like it. Don't
No,
do that. Liu Kang
no, that's
deserves
terrible.
better.
Oh
Shad,
man.
what's on your wish list then?
Smoke.
Robot
some
or
smoke.
robot or
Are you
ninja?
smoking yet?
I mean, I'll take what I can get. We got everyone else out of MK2 except for him and Kintaro. Just my two favorite people.
We're
Want
never
some
getting
smoke?
Kintaro.
Or did we?
It's not gonna happen. Oh,
How do you
man,
know
no.
Smoke
My
wasn't
honest
there?
to God, I think that was Chameleon, sir.
Oh, you're right.
It was Ermac. Been in hiding since the first tournament.
Oh,
Soon the time will come to
actually
reveal himself. Hey, why
Yeah,
doesn't
funny,
Lewis
not-
Tan play
not-
Ermac? Then
not-
you can have him in a mask the whole time.
Because that wasn't one of the
There you
3
go.
characters he's requested.
But Ermac is really cool. He wouldn't be disappointed.
He's like,
if you
I'll
sold
play
him on it by
Ermac.
using-
Can he have
Yeah.
a sword? He has the sword thing that he had from Deception.
He can look at a sword.
What was it in
Somebody
Deception?
else
Was
could
it
be
an
holding the
was it
sword.
an axe? It's been so long.
He had
Yeah, I
an
think
axe
it
in
was a battle
Deception.
axe,
It was not
was a
a
giant-ass
smart
battle axe.
choice, but he did have a battle axe in
Okay.
Deception, yes.
Okay, your wish
No,
list. Yeah,
I think
Smoke.
my wish list is Smoke. I know it's never gonna happen, but I'd love to see Kintaro or Motaro at this point. Or at the very least, I'd like to see the character of Goro redeemed somehow. Make him part of the MK4 storyline that we appear to be going downwards. Make him not suck like he did in the first one. That'd go a
You know,
long way towards solving some wounds.
I hate to say it, but again, there are so many MK characters that you can't fit them all in a movie. I'm kind of okay.
I know.
If Reptile is just left dead, Goro is just left.
I'm okay
dead,
if
at a
Reptile is
certain
left
point.
dead. I just with Goro it bothers me. It just bothers me for
I
so many reasons.
I totally get it. They completely botched the character.
That's how I feel about Reptile, dude. They fucking lizard man motherfucker.
Yeah,
Like, it was bad enough that people question, is that actually supposed to be Reptile? At least Goro was recognizable as Goro to an extent. Fucking Reptile is literally just the lizard from Tekken. There is a lizard in Tekken, right?
Lizard Man, yeah.
Okay, I'm not
that's
fucking
Soul
losing my
Calibur,
mind.
but there is
Soul Calibur, okay. I don't know.
they're kind of the same franchise.
Which is the one in,
Don't worry
which is the
about
one
it.
in Tekken then? Which am I thinking of?
There's a
Is it
dinosaur
Roger?
in Tekken, the little dinosaur.
Yeah, there was a cartoon dinosaur. That's like a crossover with a manga.
It's
or something. That's the
Roger and
best character.
Alex.
Yeah, those
one's
are.
a Velociraptor, one's a kangaroo.
Yes, there is a raptor. You're right.
God bless Tekken.
You know, if you have
But no,
oh, go ahead, yeah.
I mean, which would you choose out of the 3 main sub bosses? Would you resurrect Goro and fix him?
Yes.
Motaro on screen for the first time ever, or Motaro? again.
I kind of feel like, given the way they decide what to take from the games to put in these movies, and the fact that they tend to favor more recent games, that the next time we see a Shao Kahn, it'll be like we're visiting Kuatan and it's Shiva on the throne.
Ah, god damn it.
To answer your
Yeah.
question, I would pick. That's tough. I've never been a big Motaro guy. I know, I get it. Sorry, D4, I get it. But I would probably go with Goro because it makes sense if he's, if the whole thing is go down to hell, to the Netherrealm to try and get their friends back. You have a dead Goro there that's like a revenant version of him, and then you can kind of go from there. But yeah, obviously Kentaro kicks ass, and it would be nice to finally get some representation for him, especially because you could parlay that to having him actually be in the next game. So there's always that too. But what I was gonna say is, couldn't you just use like Quan Chi as the sub boss to Shinnok anyways? Or are you just specifically
Yeah. I
asking
mean,
about
MK4 doesn't really have a monster guy. I mean, Goro was in it, but only the home versions, and he's not on their side. Like,
sub boss for the
got his own
latter, just not
story.
for like the story wise. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say is, how you could introduce Sub-Zero and some other characters that I would love to see is, if you're going down to the Netherrealm anyways, Noob Saibot, and you have Shinnok playing this big part, then you have Noob playing, he's got to be there again, right, for the Brotherhood of Shadow stuff. Why not have Serena introduced, and why not have Ashra introduced? And then you bring in Kuao Yang. Then you bring in Kuao Yang, and he's there to go get his brother back from the Netherrealm or whatever. And he's kind of like, I don't know how you introduce him, but yeah, he's going to be there to help them, I guess, help the heroes. And that's how you can have the Serena stuff, then you can have the Ashra stuff, and the Noob. I feel like that's a kind of a nice way. And then you tee it up so that way, then you can have the cyborgs in the next one after that. Because then you've introduced Kuao Yang already at that point. You're just not going to be focusing necessarily on the Lin Kuei this next time. You're focusing on the trip down to the Netherrealm.
I don't know. I almost want to say, like, there's something neat about the fact that this movie is called Mortal Kombat 2, and the plot and roster are basically Mortal Kombat 2. That makes me go, for the third one, even though Shao Kahn is dead, can we still somehow have it be an invasion of New York, and Stryker is there, and the Sector and Cyrax are a big part? Can we do it that way?
Yeah.
But no, it does feel like, just based on where they've left things, that Mortal Kombat X is probably going to be the thing they draw from the most for material for the
We're already
movie.
kind of, we're leaning into it with Kung Lao a little bit.
Yeah.
It's good to talk about that guy.
But yeah, I mean, if you introduce Kuao Yang like that, and he's just kind of introduced as, I'm Sub-Zero's brother, basically, and I want to get, I know he's down in the Netherrealm and yada, yada, yada. I want to save him before he realizes he can't be saved, or some bullshit like that.
There's gotta be some way. Like, there's always an A plot and a B plot when you have an ensemble cast movie to give them all something to do. So I'm almost like, can we rip off Battle of the Realms and have it be like Shinnok hires Sector and Cyrax to steal the 6 Kami Dogus or something? Can we do that? Because then we've got a thing for Sub-Zero to do, and while the heroes are fighting Shinnok's forces in the Netherrealm. I don't know.
I don't think we're ready to talk about Kami Dogus. I don't think we're ready to talk about Kami Dogus for 5 years at least.
I think they were in the movie as like background dressing, if I remember right, to like a screenshot prior to seeing the movie.
I don't remember seeing that. Maybe
they don't focus on it. I think they're just in background as like little Easter eggs.
There were all these little Easter eggs in the first movie where there were like paintings or carvings of the Kami Dogus on the walls of Raiden's cave hideout. I think that's what you're thinking of. Yeah. That was in the first movie, yeah.
There's that, and there's all that detail about the original Kung Lao that's on the cave walls and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, there was a painting of the Great Kung Lao, like a painting of Shao Kahn like killing Onaga. That was the room that had the amulet in it. That's where Kano pocketed the thing, which ended up being a major plot point in this movie. I was very surprised.
I'll try and find what I'm thinking of because I could swear it's about the second movie and it wasn't the cave stuff that you're talking about, but it's. I'm gonna have to
I
go
didn't
digging
see
on
anything.
Twitter.
I didn't see any kind of background Easter eggy stuff like that in this movie that I can remember.
I wasn't keeping my I wasn't really keeping my eyes open for it, but
I mean, the what Easter eggy stuff they did do was a little more obvious. Like, they had the Johnny Cage '80s film where he's wearing his MK11 outfit.
oh, yeah, have we had the Carl Urban conversation yet?
It's just
You want
there.
to talk
I
about Carl
posted
Urban?
I
it in
talked
the
about it
chat.
very briefly.
It's just some little trinket in there that has the Kamadogu logos on it. And that's all it was.
Okay.
So
Oh,
nothing
okay.
important, but watch that
'Cause, I
be
mean,
like the crux of the next one. That's the MacGuffin of the
Oh,
next one.
is this supposed to be like because in Raiden Sky Temple they have like an hourglass they're all watching for when the next round of the tournament will be. Is this supposed to be Shao Kahn's version of that
Oh,
hourglass?
Maybe.
interesting.
Because
I
we
don't
never
know.
actually like see it. Like the camera never focuses on it in the whole movie.
Yeah,
But
I'm
this
not
does look
sure.
like an hourglass. It also has the symbols from mythologies on the base. That's interesting.
That's a great big fan reference right there.
Yeah,
That's a
I'd
lot of
like to
reference.
own one of those.
That's a Jackson Pollock of random MK crap put together.
Yeah, they're just
I
throwing
like it.
logos.
Yeah.
Like some art director just looked up random logos from the franchises and made sure to carve all of them on this piece.
They'll see this shit and they'll fucking love us now.
I'm surprised there's not like a red dragon logo.
How about this? When you have Kual Yang going with the heroes down to the Nether Realm, he already has Frost by his side as his like little hot-headed protege.
I mean, if you do like he's 400 years old and he's the Grandmaster, you could have Frost, sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just throwing shit out there
I don't
at this
know.
point of how to
I don't want to
introduce
stuff too many characters
Yeah, you're
in
right.
a movie.
You're right. You're
That's
right.
I want try
But-
to keep it down to like 12 people.
Well, that's why I think
then
like
you
if
know
you're
what?
gonna go the
Well,
NetherRealm route, at least do the ones that have their hooks to the NetherRealm, like a Serena.
Yeah, no,
like
I would
Ashra.
like to see like
Yeah.
Serena and Ashra. If we could get a Draman, that would be neat.
Oh yeah.
Draman was almost in the first movie. He was going to be on Shang Tsung's team, like in earlier
Hey,
drafts of the script.
Interesting.
If you
Which-
want to put a character in hell to just run around and fight with, you don't have to get. You don't even have to give him a name. You can just do what Snowblind did for some reason and have him show up.
Yeah, just have him
He's
in a
in
crowd
hell.
shot. Just which characters look the most post-apocalyptic? Just throw them all in.
If you throw in like Draman and Moloch and a random like hell crowd shot,
Well,
in
if you
a random
remember,
fight, I'll take it.
at the end of Cage Match, when there's all these demons coming out of Shinnok's portal, they put Draman and Moloch there too.
Yeah, yeah. Time and place, as long as they're in hell, I'm glad to see them.
yeah, yeah.
We didn't actually talk about Jade at all, I don't think. And I think that, I mean,
The actress did a good job. It's a shame
did.
she won't just wear a wig.
I mean, I'm past caring about that.
You do kind of get
What-
used to it. It's
You
just
do,
kind of
and-
a shame.
Yeah, I don't hate it. That was
I-
like I said this on Twitter. The Kano eye plate bothers me a million times more than
Yes, the
Jade being bald.
Kano having two good eyes and not
Is
really
weird.
looking like Kano does bother
No.
me more than Jade's hair. But
I wanted to bring up Jade for this because as much as it's Kitana's movie now, now that's a wonderful fucking thing. I wanted to step back and specifically appreciate the fact that Jade's UMK3 plot is so important to this entire thing.
yeah,
Like, she's
you
not
know,
just
this is
like it's such a major part of the old, specifically part of the original timeline that got transplanted in here where it's useful and
In-
so
in
much the
past-
plot actually relies on it.
in past videos. Many a time we have brought up how silly it is that the Threshold stuff adapted Jade like 3 separate times,
Hmm.
but none of them were accurate.
We got it. It
We finally
actually
got the
happened.
real Jade in a movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. Who cares if she's got hair or not?
And they didn't pull some last minute crap where they did her right and then they called her Ruby and put her in a red outfit.
Ah.
Damn it.
Ah.
I do
Right,
I do
well-
think it's weird that now she can actually like shoot energy blasts out of her staff. That seemed a little.
Like, did it have a limiter seal on it, or what was the deal there?
Yeah, there's a weird like implied lore to the fact that the staff is wrapped up, and when she decides to turn on Shao Kahn, she breaks the seal on her staff. Like, what does that mean?
She just doesn't want his helmet logo on her staff anymore. She's like, no, I don't
Sure,
like
I get that part of it, but why was like she containing the energy version of the staff behind a wrapping, and then
I don't know, man.
I don't know. It's just kind of an odd thing where like there's not going to be any exposition for this. We're just doing something.
It's
Whatever,
the
man.
symbolism of unwrapping her potential and breaking the control that Shao Kahn has over her and her allegiance to him by breaking
yeah, I
the
just
piece off.
like
It's all symbolism. I don't know, man.
I don't know. It's just because if she's in Khan's army, she must have gotten the staff from Khan. So it's like I'm giving you a very powerful weapon, but you're not allowed to use the full power.
It's like I'm breaking up with you, but I'm keeping this badass staff you gave me. I don't know, dude.
It just seemed weird that like the green energy version of it was like sealed and it's like a plot device to I'm ready to use the laser blasts now.
Well, the
It
last
was strange, but okay, yeah.
well, I don't know if it's the last, but the last major thing that we've danced around is the Carl Urban discussion. So, thoughts?
Yeah, I wanted to cover this before we cut off for the night, or I don't know how long we're going, because Carl Urban is Cage in this. I'm still not even the best guy for the part, but like, the more I've thought about it, it's less about him as Johnny Cage, rather than that what this movie is trying to tell us that Johnny Cage is about Johnny Cage. Because over time, there's been this been kind of like change in perception as to what Cage can mean as a character. It's not universal, but it's a thing that kind of started along with Legacy, where as time went on and you got things like the Expendables, the interpretation and the look at what a celebrity action hero has changed with the times. So we're a long way from, he's 29, he's mean, he's in great shape, Johnny Cage. And now it's like he's 49, he's washed up, he's doing cons. Remember him, he was Johnny Cage. Like, sometimes it seems to me like that's where we start to look at Cage now from.
Yeah.
I don't know
There
if
has been
it's been a gradual shift.
It's like over the past like 15 almost 20 years, gradually Johnny's story has gone from he's like in the prime of his career, but he's having problems with the tabloids and trying to like
He wants inspiration.
yeah, it's changed from I just want to prove I can really fight to I'm old and washed up.
Do you think it's the MKX factor?
I think that's been an influence because like his wardrobe is definitely taking after X at 11.
It's a visual influence, not so much one directly from the games. It's just that it's that MKX and onwards give us older Cage to work from. But this is more of this speaks to more of a change in the way people see B action movie stars. I just find it really interesting to look at why this movie feels the need to do that. You know?
I think I don't mind it so much, except that like if this guy's a 50-year-old man, you guys really I mean are what are we doing with him and Sonya? Because she is the character that interacts with him the most, and it could lead to romance in a sequel. But also, like, he's got to be way too old to like have Cassie, right?
Like physically, he could probably still have
I
a
mean,
kid.
like by the time, like if you do a
biologically.
sequel with a time jump and you put Cassie in it, Johnny will be 70.
My dad was pretty old when he had me, just saying. He was in his late 50s.
I mean, it could be done. It feels like we're already at Dad Johnny, but without a
Yeah.
kid.
It is unusual. That's all I wanted to say is I don't know how I feel about it, other than to make me say that it makes me feel weird to look at the fact that I don't know. This is, I guess, what people see movie stars as now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. My thing is that it doesn't so much bother me that we're playing Johnny Cage old because it's happened so many times by this point that I'm used to it. What kind of throws me off is that Carl Urban, I feel like his voice is too deep and gruff for like a Johnny Cage. Like it, he feels like
Too dirty Harry, whereas Johnny's supposed to be more like
yeah,
a pretty boy, smarmy.
yes.
Like
Yeah, that's
Johnny's
kind of
supposed to
where I'm
be
at.
like the
Like,
jock, and I don't know that I get jock
whenever
vibes from
whenever Carl Urban does
Carl
his
Urban.
American accent, I just hear Judge Dredd.
Yeah.
And Johnny Cage is not Judge Dredd.
Yeah,
He's
I can
not
see what you're
Batman.
saying. Yeah, I thought he did fine, but yeah, it is a little bit
He's all
odd.
right. Like he's not like a
He
I'm
still
not
wouldn't have been my first choice. No.
I'm seeing Johnny, Sonya Jackson, Liu Kang go on an adventure to the fucking Tarkatan camp, and I'm like, this is Mortal Kombat stuff. I'm seeing Mortal Kombat characters do Mortal Kombat things, but every once in a while, I'm like, that's not Johnny, that's Carl Urban.
Lyndon Ashby, we all can't be.
Yeah, yeah. It is easier to see the character instead of the actor if you don't pick a recognizable guy. Like if you cast an unknown, it's just always going to be the first thing I know them from is that, so I always think of that. Like I don't see Toby Maguire as a person. I see him as Peter Parker, because the first thing I ever saw him in was Peter Parker. So like
Yeah.
when he did that movie Seabiscuit, I don't call it Seabiscuit, I call it Spider-Man on a horse.
Spider Horse.
I call Sin City Cannibal Hobbit.
Yeah, I will say that it took me a while to like feel him as Johnny Cage. I did like the VHS tape playing, like that was awesome. They showed that before the movie though. They showed that like a couple months earlier or whatever.
Yeah,
That
like
was cool.
in the marketing.
Yeah, that was a fun. That was more of that. That's great. But I definitely was having a hard time fully buying him as Johnny, like you're talking about.
Yeah.
I think it wasn't till the Tarkatan camp and the page turn there that happens there with his character that's when I'm like starting to like buy him a little bit more. But the factors like that you're talking about, like the voice and such, and just the fact that he's already the older Johnny, definitely stand out as like it's not quite where I wish it was for sure. I don't think he did horrible or anything like that, but yeah, it was there was still something to be desired there.
It's middle of the road.
Yeah.
Well,
And, Adeline Rudolph, last person I wanted to talk about. What do we think? Great Katana, yes?
yeah,
I
like I
actually
said,
thought
I loved her.
she was spectacular. I don't know how
Yes.
they could have found a better person for Kitana.
Yeah,
She's fantastic.
more Katana, please. Like genuinely, I thought she.
I did not mean to do that pun, but I did anyway. She's fantastic.
Yeah, she's the star of the show for me. I mean, as much as I like the comedy aspects of Kano and everything else, but like I said earlier, she was the heart of the film from the start of it till the end of it, and I just thought it worked perfectly. And if you didn't have that, would I love this film as much? I know that I love the film, but you know what I mean. Would I like it as much as I like it? Probably not. So that's how I know that she was a good casting. I really dug it.
Yeah, I mean, I will say, like, obviously in my heart I would have liked Liu Kang to be the main character, but the writer director talking about, well, we start the movie with a flashback of her origin story. How could you then not have her be the main character?
Yeah.
It's Like,
And
there's
I,
too much Kitana in the movie. The movie's too much about her for her not to be the one
Yeah.
who beats
and you
Shao
know what, like,
Kahn. Even though it requires, they have to sort of violate the game's lore, which, there used to be this rule that was established mainly for Bo Raicho's backstory that if you can't switch sides. The realm you're from is the only realm you could fight for in the tournament. And Kitana in this movie actually gets to renounce Outworld and fight for Earthrealm. And I kind of feel like for an adaptation, I'm cool with that. They don't have to, stick to a rule from the games that exists only for one character's sake,
and you know what, like, as part of an overarching theme, something that I wanted to say was like when I reviewed the first movie, I kind of like felt it incumbent to bring out the fact that it kind of lived under the shadow of MK95, in that it was trying very hard to do things in a different way where there
Yeah.
really wasn't space for it to do so. So, if you actually want to, doesn't mean you can't, but you have to figure out clever ways to do it. You have to pick out different focuses, There's no rulebook that says Liu Kang has to win every MK and be the hero of every movie. We're just really used to seeing it. And this film, by like, kind of taking him out of the forefront and putting him elsewhere, not by killing him gratuitously, but like going, okay, for once, this is Kitana's film. Let's actually have a film about a secondary character who's also always been a hero, becoming the hero, and taking one of the better parts of MK11, which is her fighting and beating Khan for good, and bringing that to the forefront. So I thought that was an excellent way to do it.
Yeah. I think so. The thing is, like, would this work in the games? And I think the reason Kitana couldn't win an accurate MK2 is because you'd be doing MK3 after. So you like
You
the
would.
idea of her taking the throne of Outworld, you'd get the rug pulled out from under her as Shao Kahn somehow comes back and then invades Earth. So if we're not doing MK3, give it to her. Sure, why not? Like pulling the rug out from under Liu Kang, like, yeah, you beat him, but you're gonna have to do it again, is different than, doing
Mm,
that to Kitana. Which is kind of the problem with Aftermath, was that Kitana did this thing and then you released a whole DLC that goes, sorry, you don't get to keep it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do think, like, under the circumstances of an adaptation or a different universe where you're not planning on doing the Outworld invasion of Earthrealm, you're not planning on doing the MK3 plot, and you couldn't anyway because of the way they just have Sindel around. They can't make her the plot device that he invades with. Um, it does kind of make more sense based on who has the most investment in the villain. It's like Sonya gets to fight Kano in things because that's her plot. Well, what is Kitana's plot? It's Shao Kahn has ruined her fucking life, so she should be the one to fight him. Yeah. I
I
just
mean,
as long as we eventually get one of these movies where Liu Kang is the main guy, please.
I'm sure we'll get there.
Yeah,
I'm
like if the
sure.
next one is really going to be about like saving the revenants, and it's going to be hit, he has in these movies now, his whole investment is rescuing Kung Lao's soul and bringing Kung Lao back. So I hope Liu Kang is the hero of that story. Like in the third one, he's the one who fights Shinnok or whatever the plot is, the Deadly Alliance or whatever it may be, in order to rescue Kung Lao. He gets to be the main hero of that story because
Agreed.
Yeah.
that's what his arc is in these movies now.
Or we're gonna get zombie Liu Kang
No, let's
from
not do that.
Deception. Just kidding.
While we're
I
here,
don't think you turn into fire and ascend towards the heavens like you've achieved Buddhist enlightenment, and then you're a zombie in the next movie. I don't think that makes sense.
just shot from behind a corner, neck snap. Oh, it's got the change for no reason. Actually, while I'm here and we're talking about funny dead people, it is so amazing to me that we now live in an era where Kung Lao literally eats shit and everything. But it's even more amazing to me that we already fucking made the dead guy eat shit again.
It's
he's so dead. Kung Lao is supposed to die. That's the only thing he's around for now. It's fucking hilarious.
What I think it is that Kung Lao has always been so redundant and such a sidekick character that his only real purpose is to how can we twist it so that he can fight against Liu Kang instead of just standing behind Liu Kang?
And if you're gonna use one character as a revenant from the games, I'm glad that it was him.
Yeah. Kung Lao
He looked-
being the
he looked
poster child of
good.
the Revenant storyline kind of makes sense. It's finally gives him something that he's about. Because he generally has nothing in the fucking games. Like, I hate to say it because I don't dislike Kung Lao, but this is just the character is so nothing all the fucking time. All he ever does is be Liu Kang 2 or Liu Kang's fucking, the archetype of the calm guy and then like the hot-headed rivals. Like, but I want to be the one, Cyclops and Wolverine,
He's got the razor hat though.
Leonardo and Raphael. It's always you gotta make them fight each
Who's
other.
more
Otherwise,
living
what the fuck
off
is he here
of
for?
who's more living off of their hat? Like who's more getting by just off of their iconic hat? Kung Lao or Raiden?
Raiden has been in things where he's not wearing the hat and he was still Raiden. Like Christopher Lambert barely ever wore the hat. Jeffrey
I
Meat
don't know if
barely
I'd
ever
know
wore
who
the
Kung
hat.
Lao. I don't know if I'd know who Kung Lao was if I came across him and he wasn't wearing the hat.
Yeah,
So
no.
I think he's my uncle with his braid.
He without the hat, he's young Shujinko.
Oh man. You know, while we're here and we're talking about Kitana and stuff, would anyone be opposed, even though Shao Kahn's already dead and gone? Would anyone just be opposed to running into Melina in hell just so we can have a Melina Kitana fight?
So here's the thing that sort of bothers me. And it's because, I'm watching interviews with the actors on YouTube, and Adeline Rudolph is talking so much about how she wants to do something with Kitana and Melina.
Yeah.
Like she wants to have the sister fight in a sequel. And but you cast someone who is a different ethnicity as Melina. If you bring back that actress, it's weird. If you recast that actress, maybe people on the internet get mad and you've got to deal with that. What do you fucking do? It's such a catch-22. Maybe I don't know if they can use Melina again. The only solution that I can think of is what if we just had Shang Tsung make a new Melina who this time looks like Kitana, is a separate character from the Melina who was in the first movie.
We'll just go down to the pit and clone you a new Melina.
Yeah, he just keeps making more Melinas, and they're different every time. That way, you could have, somebody who looks like Adeline Roof. Maybe they could do a thing where she plays both characters, and they do a lot of camera trickery or whatever. I just think if you really want to do Melina again, I don't know how you bring back Sissy Stringer without it being wrong.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate
Yeah.
part of being like a
asking
sequel.
How far would you
it keeps
go?
coming back to how many mistakes they made making the first movie. Why did you cast a Melina without thinking about what Kitana would be like in the sequel? Why did you go there?
You're asking a lot
once
here.
Again,
Yeah.
it once again speaks to the biggest difference between the way these two films were shot. One of these films was shot by people who thought that Mortal Kombat was just a thing where scary people stab all the time. Another was shot by people who kind of understand that there's a lot more to this world and its characters than meets the eye.
Well,
Nice,
it's
isn't it?
the interesting thing is the same director, but he seemed to have more control on this one and less producer interference. Because everything that went wrong with the first movie, everything the fans didn't like, seems to have been caused by producer Todd Garner. And he seems to have stepped back and had nothing to do with this movie other than having his name on it.
Well, which
I
is
don't know. That's
interesting.
just the feeling I get, because he did press for the first movie, this producer guy. When have you ever heard of a producer doing press for a movie?
Well, hold on, because
So it was the first movie was like his baby.
This is all strange.
And now we don't hear from him anymore.
Well, that's not true at all. Like, I follow him on Twitter, and he's literally the entire lead up to this movie for months. We're talking like for the last year and a
Okay,
half
well,
or whatever. He's been saying nothing but, we listened to your feedback, we listened to you, trust
Alright.
me, this time we applied, we listened. So that's why it's strange to hear you say that, because I'm getting like the complete other side of it.
Well, okay,
Where
if he's active on Twitter, that's but he was doing like video interviews for the first movie and talking about how things were his idea.
interesting. Well, that's why I'm like genuinely saying this is interesting, not like
Hmm.
I disagree or anything. I'm saying like I've only seen it from what he has posted on Twitter, and it's crazy that if what you're saying is accurate, because I've just seen him basically being like, we've heard your feedback, we know where we screwed up, and next time, trust me, this time all the things you're asking for, we're doing our best to deliver, and this is going to be the one. He's the one that's like retweeting 800 things of like all the reactions to it. So he's
Well, I
very
mean,
much
it-
been heavily
it can
involved.
be that like he was pushing around those ideas to start off with, and then all the pushback made him realize, okay, no, wait, I had some bad ideas about this, and
Yeah.
now he wants to be open. Now he wants to listen, and if that's the case, good on him.
Well,
I'm glad to
I
hear it.
wonder. I feel like maybe his idea of course correcting and listening to fan feedback is to just put less of his own ideas in and let the people making the movie make the movie without his fucking interference.
Well, that's
Maybe.
good.
Yeah.
Because it's
Which is
rare
good.
you
Yeah, it
actually
is.
get
It
the
is a
kind
good
of
thing.
like,
He did like it shows that he's learned that
if you're willing
he's
to
the one who
back off,
fucked up.
let your ego die a little bit, realize you messed up. That's a wonderful trait for anyone in charge of a series to have.
But I'm just saying, like I have seen, like he was doing like he did like Screen Junkies or some kind of radio show on YouTube thing for the first movie where it was, he's explicitly taking credit for the idea of Cole and the fact that Johnny
Yeah.
Cage wasn't in that movie, and that it's not about a tournament because we didn't want to repeat 95. Like he was like, it's the first one was very much more than the director and more than the writer, he was the guy. Whereas this one, the director and the writer were the guy, which
They
is
do
how
have a
movie
new writer
should
this
be.
time, right?
Yeah,
Like
it's completely different, right? Like the first movie had 3 different writers, and the third one was a first timer. Like the final draft of the script was by some guy who'd never written anything before. Like he was fresh out of film school or something, and his only credits are this and a Resident Evil thing that didn't get made, and yeah.
Yeah, that's why I because I didn't know if the Todd Garner guy was the one that was pushing a lot of these ideas. If that's true, then yeah, that is interesting, because yeah, I've only seen it from his perspective on Twitter, where he was also all I remember from him from the first one. I knew he was involved, but I remember he was the one that was very like did not take criticism well, which makes sense to what you're saying. If a lot of these were
Yeah.
his ideas, he'd be like, fuck all these people that are shitting on the movie. But it's interesting seeing the lead up to this movie, because he's been nothing but like, yeah, we've heard you, we've listened to you, and we're applying all this feedback, and trust me, this time it's going to be great and you're going to love it. And like, so maybe to Shad's point, he did eat a big plate of crow and shit and being like, you know what, I was wrong. And I see that Mortal Kombat diehard fans, what happens when you don't take them into account and don't respect the series. And yeah, so I if he's on board, I mean, he was still a producer this time, and seemingly.
Well, the other thing I noticed in the credits is that the director and the writer also have producer credits on this movie, which was not the case with the first one.
Yeah, I knew they had a new writer, so that might also be a big help of why this one turned out differently. So, but yeah, interesting. Well,
I think Temp's time is just about up.
I mean, if y'all want to keep going, I gotta go to work. That's why I'm jetting. But if y'all want to keep going, I can just drop off and do my farewells.
I mean, I don't know. It's been like a good 2 hours already.
yeah, I don't know if
think,
there's much else to say. We covered quite a bit, but regardless,
We've gushed
yeah,
about it for quite a while.
we'll
I think
wrap it
people,
up. I guess to put a bow
And
on
my presence
everything.
here was always symbolic anay, so it's
That's
moral
true. That's
support.
true.
He was-
I mean, it's
You're
appreciated. It's
he was there to hold our
I'm happy
hand.
to be here.
He was
you're our
holding our
emotional
hand through
support
this.
Tonberry.
Yeah, yeah. He's like the little teddy bear. Teddy bear temp. Make it happen. But yeah, I guess to put a bow on things, I'm glad that it's kind of what we were just talking about. I'm glad they did listen to fan feedback, because there was this movie didn't have to be what it is. And I'm not necessarily saying, I honestly don't think I love it maybe as much as Shad does. I probably am a little bit closer to Razor's End, where like I thought it was decent. I don't think it was great, but I thought it was decent. I was entertained.
I think this is.
It
I
was
think this. It's gonna like even people who are iffy on it. I think they're gonna warm up to it over the years. Like I think
Yeah.
it's the kind of movie that will kind of grow on you.
I could
and
see
in the
that.
end of the day, it'll be like just below 95 when we're looking back.
Yeah,
I
I
think
feel
that's
that's
a good way
fair.
to put it.
Because
Yeah.
I think what 95 has over it is that 95 people don't talk enough about like 95 cinematography, man. Like it's a beautiful looking movie. And if this film just had like something nicer than that, town square set, then it would overcome the hurdle,
There's a
Yeah.
few things that are always going to keep 95 to the top. of
there's
my
always
list.
there's
It's,
always
um,
nitpicks.
Nostalgia
it's
also
the
really helps.
cinematography, nostalgia.
Yeah.
I mean, all the music it introduced me to, but there's this sort of sublime spirituality. This I don't know how to best put it in terms. There's something. There's a word I'm looking for here. There's something almost sacrosanct about its atmosphere. It's almost holistic in a way that it's hard for me
I
to put my
think
finger on.
I
But
think it's the song Halcyon and On and On. That's what you're
Oh
thinking.
it's
man,
not just no, it's
that's
not
on
quite
my
that. Like
playlist.
it feels like it's a movie with actually like a lot of heart and thought put into it.
Yeah, there's sort of a this movie everybody obviously was putting in a lot of effort and really believed in it. They did good work and yet there's also at the end of the day there's maybe a jadedness that we all have now after 30 years of watching other people make adaptations of video games or just adaptations of anything. Every movie that comes out now is every summer blockbuster is based on something. There are no original IPs anymore. It's all remakes and reboots and something from a comic book, something from a video game. It does kind of make it mean less each one you get, whereas 95 was one of the first, and it was certainly the first that didn't suck. And so
Yeah.
there was something special about that. But there's also like so when 95 came out, the games had less lore to them, and the movie straight up invented some of the things that then became canon.
Yeah, like eventually
And so
Kano.
there's
Yeah.
like when you're like learning the story of Mortal Kombat, you have to watch the 95 movie because it's practically part of it.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel today a lot of video games don't need movies because video games all have story modes now. Like, why would I possibly want to watch a Resident Evil film when I get the experience of a film and more from playing the latest Resident Evil?
Yeah.
That's not to say that there's no reason to watch this movie. I mean, there's certainly still. Dude, that Liu Kang Kung Lao fight, you're not going to get that experience from a
Sublime.
video game.
That was sublime. That was beautiful.
It was amazing.
All right, final scores. What do we think?
Oh man. Scores
Out
or
of 10.
letter grades or what do you want?
Out of 10. Let's give it out of 10. What do you say?
Uh, I'm at like a 7 or 7.5 out of 10.
Yeah, honestly, I was
Yep.
going to say 7.5 also.
That is actually also my score.
Well, there you go.
Well, we all see 7.5 a little bit differently, don't we? I was going to say 8. Nah.
I don't know, man.
Well, I think 8 is right at the line where something has to be like
Great. I have to call a movie
yeah.
great for an 8.
Yeah.
And this This is really goddamn enjoyable and a lot better than it had. I'll say again, any better than it had any reason to be. It's amazing
Yeah.
that's this good.
Yeah.
That's a very highly recommended from all three of us.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. I definitely recommend watching it, and I hope it gets enough of its budget back. I know it's already past its budget, but hopefully it gets enough of a return that we do get another one, because I think it's good enough to warrant another one, and I want to see more. So that's definitely a good thing. I look forward to being able to go into the next one with actual excitement instead of dread or just like apathy. I guess apathy more than anything. I wasn't dreading this movie. I was more just like, every time a friend would ask me about it or XYZ would bring it up, I'm just like, whatever. Like I don't have any faith in it. I'll watch it eventually, but I'm not excited for it. Was pretty much my attitude for the longest time, up until everybody started saying check it out. So I'm looking forward to I'm looking forward to being able to be excited for the next one, hopefully. So that's probably the coolest takeaway I have for this one.
My greatest hope is that it makes enough money for the next one to have a bigger budget.
Yeah.
Because I would really like to see whether it's Shinnok or the Deadly Alliance or they resurrect Khan or whatever they do, I want to see a city get attacked. I want to see them like outdoors filming on location more and less of that tiny town square.
You know what I would like? Assuming we really are going to hell, I want some fucking Pyramid of Souls, man. I want some like Bridge of Immortality. I want the fucking journey, the Odyssey through fucking Mordor to Shinnok's Pyramid. That's what I want to see. Never gonna happen, but if you're gonna drag us through hell, that's where I'd love to see it.
Would be neat.
Everyone's so glad to be so wrong about a movie.
I think I think there's something about like when we got cool locations in this movie, they were super isolated. Like people teleported there and then teleported away just to have a fight scene in a cool looking place. I would love to see them go to places on foot and those places look really alien and interesting because
I didn't
the Tarkatan camp, as cool as it wasn't purple. It would have been nice to have it look a little more like alien in the sky and the landscape and stuff,
Litmus test. Can we get a living forest? Can we get a convincing living forest in a movie?
That would be cool. Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
Jade and Kitana spent a lot of time in a forest that distinctly did not have faces on the trees.
Hard to commit to the bit.
But on that note, everybody, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you enjoyed this discussion/review. Definitely go check it out if you haven't already. And we'll see you on whatever the hell we do next. No promises.
Can we talk about the Legacy Collection yet?
No.
I mean, we did. You want to?
No.
I still want to get to. I honestly, genuinely am really excited to get back to doing the ranking things like we did the last couple times. I enjoyed that immensely. We technically did a poll whether it was between music and fatalities, and people chose fatalities. So I feel like we owe it eventually to at least do that. But
I'm down.
Honestly, I just want to rank the characters again, but we've already done that. That still is a lot of fun.
We can do that again. There's no reason we can't do that twice.
We can, because our opinion from like 4 years ago isn't going to be our opinion maybe now. So you never know. I don't even remember what I ranked half the thing. Yeah, let's say Razor is a little more consistent. He probably would rank very similarly, but
I can't wait to put Scorpion in S tier. It'll be great.
We're gonna have to fight the Lee May getting her up to S tier again. Temp shenanigans.
Wait, did we do it before 12 came out last time?
I think so. It's been a few years.
If we do it after 12, Lee May's going down the chart, man.
You didn't like Lee May in 12? I'm not saying she's as great as classic Lee May. Sure. I just didn't
I-
think it was that bad.
That's my
I-
cue to take a painful
Look, they
shit.
really want me to have sympathy for the sad old lady that lost her job, and I don't.
You're not saying she looks haggard, are you? That's a little in joke for the Discord. But anyways, on that note, we will be doing something eventually. That's all I can promise you. Take care, everybody.
See you later,
Take care, guys.
nerds.
Have a nice day.